Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be testing out the Huawei Mate 20X. Now in a video recently, a lot of people in the comments section asked me about reviewing the phone, and what I'm going to do is split into two parts. The first part is going to be talking about functionality and things about the phone that I absolutely love, and at the same time the second part is gaming. We all love gaming, so mobile gaming is what we're going to talk about. Okay, let's talk about the specs for the phone. Decent battery life, given a good endurance. We've then got 6 GB of RAM, which is pretty impressive. The piece de resistance is got to be the camera, 40 megapixels, which is just insane. There's several other cameras which do some absolutely amazing stuff. The wide angle lens, the telephoto, the ultra wide. Yeah, there's so many amazing things. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then obviously the size of the phone, it's 7.2 inches. Now, you may be kind of going, that is too large of a phone, but when you're considering this for gaming, it does actually feel a bit better to hold a larger device, especially if you're considering that your eyesight is going to be focusing on a very small object. Now, having larger phones is always beneficial when you're doing gaming. It's the kind of step up between having a small phone and then having a tablet. So it's like the midway point, which I think is quite cool. Where video comes into it, it takes some fantastic video footage, which, you know, it's just absolutely amazing. The selfie camera, the front camera, still retain some decent quality. So if you're doing that amazing selfie, you're sticking your ass out like you're on Instagram, then you've definitely got that in spades. As I've said in the previous video when I was doing a review, we actually used this for Frank the Tortoise's Instagram and also Twitter, taking some amazing photos. This is of our front garden. As you can see, what it does is it takes the image first here and then it blurs the background in that very kind of professional sense, and that's that 40 megapixel camera coming into play. And even here, picking up a time-lapse camera, this is still like amazing quality as we see him scuttling around the room. In order to get a full idea of the extent of the quality, now OBS doesn't produce a fantastic quality. If you actually go to Mr. Frank the Tortoise's Instagram page, a link is in the description, you'll see the amazing quality that it's picking up, the small amounts of little kind of flecks of his scaling as he's shedding it. The camera as well is so intelligent because it picks up the depth of field with how the image is blurred at the back and also very crisp and clear at the front. Now you can have a choice of how you open the phone, which two things I absolutely love. There's fingerprint recognition at the back rather than the front. Now some people may not like that, but I think that's quite cool. The face recognition in order to open your phone, or you can put in a code, so you've got that flexibility. Some things that I used in my video was the type of knuckle type thing. So I'm not talking like knuckles as in like Sonic, but you kind of go like that, and then you got screen record. Now, even though there's so many cool features, the most important thing is gaming. Let's face it, I'm a gaming channel. You love gaming because you're probably watching this. You've seen the specs and also the other stuff. And yeah, there's so many other decent features, but you want to know about the gaming. So let's go game. So I recently started a new Marvel Contest Champions account called Floppy Member, laugh if you will, but also testing out some speed things. It looked like I could get a 22-second in the game as opposed to the comparison with an iPhone 7 Plus, which I think was just over that, like about 24, maybe even 25 seconds. So this was faster. Now, if we're talking about functionality, I do think this is there and it looks crisp. It's all about a crisp image as well. So what you're looking at is it feels like a good game. I can actually see my finger movements, or my thumb movements moving back, and maybe that's something I can alter in some sort of way, but it does definitely feel like it is a decent phone to play Marvel Contest of Champions on. The quick loading time is something that is a plus for this because a lot of people do slate Android phones for how much of the speed issue does affect their progression and quick grinding of the game. But the Huawei Mate 20X is still pretty fast. Everything seems to be going quite smoothly as opposed to other Androids where it's just not as fast. Now what I've decided to do is you want to find out about the arena speed because we want to grind out for units, you want to grind out stuff for free, you want to get battle chips, you know, the other piddly crap. But now let's test out Arena because I need to get back into the RichTheMan account and test to see about the speed between battles in Arena. You want to see if this is a very quick grind because you don't want to waste your time in Arena if you can't load quickly between battle to battle. Right, with standard Android phones, it would be a quick load process as soon as I click the button in a second. So let's see. So I've clicked continue. Now we're getting into the battle. We're just quickly in. Like with other devices, it may be in a case that it's like very slow to load, but it was just a case where we're quickly into the battle. Right, that's that fight done. We then go next fight, and then we're in again. And that's the same thing with like my current iPhone. This is the case, it's like as quick, if not quicker. Now here we are in PubG, and I'm pretty excited to play about in PubG. As you know, that most of the time I'm streaming, I'll be going through different devices, and what is actually so decent about this is it just looks really crisp. With the screen being large, and that is one good thing about this particular device, it's great to kind of set up some controls. So one thing I've recently done is change the way that certain buttons look, because I was finding that placement needs to be to your specification when you're playing this game. And that is one thing that I wanted to do. Placement of certain things, like where I fire, how I fire, is important to me as a player. Other people's own interests of where they want to put their buttons is completely up to them. But let's jump into a game and see how things function. Now there is a noticeable size difference between the device that I was using and the device I'm using now. But I just like the size of what you're seeing with the screen. It is quite cool. I may customize and change some things about with placements of certain like buttons and shooting and that kind of stuff in the future. So I may kind of go to controls whilst I'm live now playing and just like change some things around, because I'm quite conscious of where my thumb is and thumb placements. So maybe I'll kind of bring down the size of this particular button here for kind of jumping and kind of going over obstacles. And maybe the same thing for the scopes, just take them down a notch as well on size, just to make things like just better for me. As I said, it's all about customization to how you feel is the best, and also where the location is so it doesn't interact with other buttons. But that's the thing, what you want to do is completely up to you. But over the device that I was using before, I'm definitely seeing just that the level of detail. Like I have switched on like the way that the kind of the light shimmers, the sun shimmers down onto the aircraft is pretty cool. And if you did want to follow me for sweaty try-hard streams of PubG, then drop into the channel most days from around about 2000 hours GMT. I'm still coming to the point of what's comfortable with the phone. Now the phone I was playing off before, where the buttons are selected for firing, those are where the end of the screen was. So it's kind of difficult to kind of adjust to this because I haven't really been playing too much with it, but it is a lot better than it would be with the other device, especially because everything is clear, where with the other device there isn't much kind of clearness. You can't actually see further off into the distance. But there is some improvements I do need to make to where the buttons are. That's one key thing. So there we have it. That has been a review on the Huawei Mate 20X. I also played about with World of Tanks Blitz, but let's face it, on my channel at the moment I cover Marvel Contest of Champions and PubG Mobile. Of the two games, I think that it runs PubG Mobile really clear and crisp, even for an online game. And Marvel Contest of Champions as an Android cuts out a lot of that time that you spend in the loading screen. So I do rate this. I think this is a fantastic device. Now I think I better wrap up this video quickly because I want to get that chicken dinner and get the win. Make sure to follow me and the channel for more PubG Mobile based content, and as well follow me for Marvel Contest of Champions stuff as well using the Huawei Mate 20X. Thanks very much for watching. I shall catch you in the next one. Bye bye for now.